Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. In today's exciting episode, I make a dress, but it's got different fabrics on the top and the skirt. So it looks like two pieces, but it's actually one.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
Last episode, I made a jacket out of this fabulous sequin fabric in silver, and I was in rather a rush, so I didn't do any of the hand stitching on the inside, and I just wanted to let you know I did all that. It took forever, but she's looking fabulous, and now it's ready to bead, so I'll do that at some point. Next, I know a lot of you want to see another layer cake dress. I have not had time this week, so I will do one of those next week where I will hopefully have time. I have a couple that I want to make up, but this orange and hot pink one I think is the next one. Big Bird has, well, he's yellow on top obviously, but he has hot pink and orange legs. So I'm thinking once I've made this dress, I'll wear it with my yellow floral jacket. And that can be my Big Bird outfit. Anyway, so that's going to be next week. But for now, and I'm still trying to figure out how I can cut this fabric so that you can see the leafy seahorses because they're just so cool. But yeah, so I'm sort of still working out how I can fit them in the skirt in sections that are big enough that you can actually see the beautiful illustrations on the fabric. Anyway, that is a problem for future me. For now, we are going to make a simple summer dress. My three favorite, all you need to make a simple dress is 2 yards of fabric if you're small, 2.5 if you're a medium standard size, so a 14 or a 16 or an 18, and maybe 3 yards if you're large, and a simple summer dress. So they're my three favorite ones. And here is a bodice that I made previously on the burrito episode. So I'll put a card up the top, and in the description box below I'll put a link to that episode. So I've made this. It's a combination of two of those patterns that I showed you, but basically all you need to do is trace out the front bodice piece, the back bodice piece, and then cut out 2 fronts and 2 backs, and then sew them together using the burrito method. That way you have a lined bodice. So the outside is obviously the rose fabric and the inside is a sort of red and white floral fabric. So that's how I made my bodice. And now we are going to, so it used half of a yard of fabric to make my bodice. If you're a larger size, it might take slightly more, but it's a sleeveless bodice, so it doesn't take a whole lot of fabric. So I've got half a yard of the rose fabric left, but I also need 1 yard of some other fabric because it takes 2 yards to make a dress. And I'm going to have the bodice in one color, and then the bottom of the skirt is going to be the same rose fabric. So I just need another bit for the bulk of the skirt. So this is me looking at the sushi one. And from far away, they've got the same amount of blobs of white in them. So that one kind of would have gone. This one, it's not coming off, but in real life, the really pink of the roses makes the mauvey pink background of the ladybug fabric go sort of more grey. So yeah, and also this other lovely rose fabric here also doesn't look as pink when you match it with this rose bodice. So I'm just finding it really hard to find a second fabric that complements, like brings out the gorgeousness of this old-fashioned rose fabric. Now these ones are sort of peachier, and there is this one here, but it's kind of so similar to the bodice rose fabric that it looks like I'm trying to match it, and I didn't. So I don't really like that. I'd rather something that clashes. So I mean, they are technically a good match, but I don't know, near enough kind of looks a bit weird and like I made a mistake or something like that. So, and then I go to the other extreme and I get this lemon one, which looks very Dolce & Gabbana, and I love it. But I do like these two together, but no, not for this one. I think the lemon will look really good with blue, so I might I've already got a yellow and blue one though. Anyway, so put that aside. So then I got out this beige one, and I don't know, I think it actually looks better with the sushi because they've both got dark red in them. And this is the Gucci one. So I got this one out because the big full roses and tulips are the same pink as the roses in the rose bodice. And I think, yeah, I mean, they're very contrasting, and spoiler alert, you've already seen the thumbnail. You know that that's the one that I go with. But I wasn't sure about that because it's so black, and I wasn't sure about that if the contrast was too sharp. So then in real life, this blue one with the bright coloured flowers on it looks absolutely gorgeous with the rose bodice. But then I tried this one, and this one has pink and red roses on it. And this one looks absolutely gorgeous with the rose fabric. Absolutely gorgeous. But I don't know, the sort of mauve and purple flowers in this one were a bit prominent. So yeah, I didn't like that about it. But I mean, I do love the roses, the sort of hot pink and the red flowers in that one. And then I got out this other pale blue one with flowers on it. It doesn't have any hot pink ones on there, but I don't know, I thought I'd just try it. But I don't know, I think it makes the rose bodice look a bit too grey. So I decided against that. So now what I'm going to do is put the bodice on this mannequin. So I'm just showing off my beautiful mirror ball jacket again because I literally just finished it and I'm very proud of it. It's looking fabulous, but we will take that off and put the bodice on. And yes, I really should have ironed it, but I didn't. So as soon as you put the weight of the skirt on, it will sit properly anyway. So now I just pinned up the different ones. Oh, I had this here, and well, they both match because they're both unironed. But no, I really, really want to make a jacket out of that one. So yeah, we won't do that one, but they do look good together. This is a sushi one, and see what I mean? From far away, these two look actually really good together. But then I was like, what if I put the sushi one with that grey one that has blobs of rust in it? That would be really interesting. I don't know. I do like these two together. I think it really brings out the green in, like the wasabi in the sushi one and the leaves in the rose bodice. But I obviously didn't go with that one. And here's the one that I did go with. And they just look so good together. The hot pink in both of them just looks, I don't know, it just looks happy. And they've both got the same green of the leaves. And yeah, this is a really good match. Like comparing them just on the bench, they didn't look half as good as this. On the mannequin, they look amazing together. So... but I mean, this Gucci one would have also made a really, really good jacket, I think. But anyway, so yeah, this is me. They look really, really good in real life. On screen too, I think they look quite good together. And this is the one that I was favouring at the time. Well, both of the blue ones I liked. They look really lovely in person, but they do not photograph well. And I mean, I'm making this for a YouTube channel, so that does have to be a consideration. Also, I love this fabric so much. It would make a gorgeous summer jacket with like some light beading over the top of it. So I'm not that disappointed. I think I might make a jacket out of it. And at this point, I'm just trying to figure out like every one that would look good as a jacket with, if I make it into a jacket, if it would look good with that dress. Anyway, so, and then this is the other one with all the different, and you see what I mean about the pinks, the purples and the mauves really stand out. And like the hot pink, the coral pink and the red look amazing. But yeah, I don't like the blobs of purple and mauve. They just become so much more prominent. It's ridiculous. And this is the 1960s one with the blue base. This looks so amazing in person, but it does not translate onto camera, which was really disappointing because this is the one I thought I would do. I just thought they looked so good together when I was working with them at my bench, but putting that on the mannequin and yeah, it lost something. And so yeah, then I was like, oh, okay, we'll try the bland one and see if that looks completely different as well. And yeah, no, they look like I've accidentally picked up the wrong fabric, and I don't like that. I prefer things to clash, lean into the difference rather than try to pretend there's no difference. And this is me. I got my lily. It's a frog pond with water lilies on it, and there's some pink ones. So I was like, oh, well, it's got pink and it's got cream. Maybe I'll try and green, and those colours are in the top one. But I really want to use that one with all the sort of aquas and blues. I just think that would be absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I saved it for that one because I just think they look absolutely adorable together. And yeah, it's just going to be so cute in a layer cake dress. Maybe that's the one I'll do next week. Do you have any preference for the layer cake dress I make next week? Anyway, let me know if you do. But for now, let's get back to this simple dress, which is, it's supposed to be simple, and I can't even decide what fabric to use, honestly. So then I put these two up because I was still desperately trying to make this blue one work with the 1960s floral pattern on it with the blue background. But yeah, I decided to go with this one because I just went through all the footage, and this one just looks so amazing, and I'm really glad I did because the finished dress is adorable. So normally what you do is you cut from seam salvage to salvage, and you end up with half a yard for the front, half a yard for the back. But I turned it on the side, and so it's going to be slightly less full skirt, but it's going to be slightly longer because I was worried about adding the white base fabric with the roses to the bottom of this. I just thought the contrast would be too much. So I'm going to make the skirt just out of the black base fabric. And yeah, so I turned it on its side, cut it in half. And then I remembered, well, pretend you haven't seen this yet because the next fabric haul is green fabrics, and this cotton sateen is one of them. So act surprised when you do finally see the next. I filmed a bunch of fabric hauls back in the start of June, but I felt like you'd seen too many fabric hauls in a row, so I've still got two more that you haven't seen. Anyway, so I did consider the green one, but then I went back to this black base one. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do this. So I sewed the front and the back together at the sides. It's really simple. So now we basically have our skirt and we have our bodice. Now we just have to pleat them together. So to do that, it's also really simple. You put 4 pins in your bodice, in your top, front center, back center, left and right. Then with the skirt, which is just one big loop of fabric, you put 4 equidistant pins in that as well. Front center, back center, side seam left, side seam right. And once you've done that, you turn them in the wrong way so that they're the right sides are together. So I basically turned the big loop of fabric that is the skirt inside out. So the right side is on the inside now. And then I put the bodice upside down. So I've got the top of the skirt and the bottom of the bodice together. And then I match up those pins. So now I've got my bodice on the inside, my skirt on the outside, and they're pinned together at 4 points. Now, obviously 4 points is not enough. So what we have to do next is pin it at 8 points. There are loads of different ways to do this, but this is the old-fashioned way of doing pleating, where you don't have to measure anything and you just do it by hand. And it works every time for me, but you do you. If you feel better about measuring things, then you can do it the measuring way. But I just pin it at 4 points, and then I hold 2 pins together to find the midpoint of the bodice and the midpoint of the skirt, and I pin them together, and I go around and I do that to everything. So now I've got 8 points, and as you can see, the skirt's like, it's way bigger. It's more than twice as big as the bodice. So I've got big loops of free fabric in between each. So I've only got 8 points where they're touching. So now I'm going to go around again and do the same thing until we have 16 points where they all meet. And then the loops will be small enough that we can turn those gaping loops of fabric into pleats. So here we go. So I just did the same thing, held 2 pins together, found the midpoint, pinned both midpoints together, and that's how you get to this stage. So now what you do, there's 2 ways. The easiest way is you do all the pleats in the same direction. So you move all the fabric to the left, fold it back on itself to the right, pin it into place, and do that the whole way around. The slightly more complicated way is the front center pleat is a box pleat and the back center pleat is a box pleat. I actually do inverted box pleats, but it's pretty much the same. So what that means is your midpoint is your center front and your midpoint on the back is your center back. And so on the left side, everything you push it into the center, then you fold it back out to the outside. And when you're working on the right side, you push it into the center and fold it back to the edge, to the side. So you end up, instead of all your pleats going to the left or all your pleats going to the right, half of them go, the left half go to the left, the right half go to the right. Then you turn it around and you do the same on the back. And then once all your pins are in place, you machine sew it. Then you do a second line, which just holds everything into place because sometimes your skirt is heavy. Then you pull your bodice right through. So as I said earlier, this is my lining side of my bodice in red and white. So when I made my bodice, I did a machine sewn line where the seam line is. And so that now that I've got to hand stitch the lining of the bodice onto my skirt, I'll know where the line is to stitch. So I just pin it at the seam line so that the seam's there. So you can see, so that way the lining of the bodice and the actual outer bodice will both hold the weight of the skirt, and it just helps your bodice age better. So then you just fold it down over, like you fold up the seams of your skirt into the bodice, and then you pin down your lining, and then you just go around and hand stitch this all down. If it's too tricky, then you can just hang it on a door, or you can put the dress inside out on your mannequin and just hand stitch it that way if you find it easier to work on something. Or if you've got a friend who's the same size as them, you can turn the dress inside out and put it on them and hopefully not stab them as you hand stitch it. Anyway, and once you've done the hand stitching on the inside, you turn in the correct way, and here we go. And I've just put a sash around the waist of it, and it looks like a top and a skirt, doesn't it? It doesn't look like a dress, but I have a habit of wearing like the same bottom with the same top. So yeah, I quite like it. I wasn't sure whether I would like it, especially with these necklaces, the black necklaces. It just looks so cute. I love it. So yeah, it's very simple. And I actually ended up only using 1.5 yards of fabric. Well, technically the lining of the bodice takes half a yard as well. So it's half a yard outer bodice, half a yard inside lining bodice, and then a full yard cut the other way for the skirt. So yeah, it's like knee length though. It's much short. It's a bit shorter than I would normally wear a dress, but it's quite cute. It's winter where I am at the moment, so I'm literally just going to wear my dresses over long sleeve t-shirt and yoga pants anyway. So I mean, it doesn't really matter what length the dress is at the moment, and it's perfectly fine to wear a dress this length. I'm always very, very worried that my outfits will be, I don't know, too revealing, which is nonsense. You should be able to wear whatever you want. Anyway, so I still have half a yard of that gorgeous rose fabric. I'm not sure what I'll use it in because it didn't actually go well with all the other pinks. So I'm not sure. I'll use it in something. It does look gorgeous with greens, and I do have some other greens. But as I said, you haven't seen the green. This is me trying it with different jackets. It looks really cute. Now I want to make loads of different handbags. Like if I had a blue handbag and a yellow handbag and a hot pink handbag, like it would totally change the tone of the outfit because you could wear a different jacket with each. It's going to be so cute. There's just loads of different ways you could wear it. Anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've been inspired to make yourself a simple summer dress of your very own that looks like a skirt and a top in 2 different fabrics or just out of one fabric. These are my 3 favourite pullover bodice. And then, I just do a big loop of fabric and pleat it down for the skirt. It's really simple. The Butterick 6677 has a nice semi-fitted skirt too, if you prefer something semi-fitted to the knee. And then you can add another layer to it to sort of make it a little bit longer. Anyway, that is it. I'm going to go and find fabrics that I can match together to make other simple dresses out of because, I love this. Half a yard for the, one fabric for the top and the other fabric for the skirt. I think this looks really good, especially if it's a really light fabric for the top and darker one for the skirt. This is a really good combination, really good formula. I'm going to go play with all my fabrics again. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've been inspired to make some simple summer dresses, a really complex one. Yes, new layer cake dress next week, definitely. Okay, thanks again. Happy sewing.